Hi guys. So today we're going to be starting the Airship project. I've already went ahead and made myself a new project by going to the project window and saying new, and then I made my Airship as well as placing it in the directory I wanted with the scenes folder for the scenes and the source images folder for all the references that you are going to download from the TC Learn. But under source images, I've put them along with two tileable textures, one for metal, or painted metal more so, and one for a wood texture that I'm going to be using for my materials on my main ship. So, just going to close that there. So, to start us off, I'm going to first go to spacebar. Now, you guys can make a cube as a reference size for a human. 180 centimeters, which is the units, by 60 by 60. But I am going to delete that one and bring in my own human reference scaler that I got exported from Unreal. Good old Manning. There we go. Human underscore ref. Underscore geo for naming conventions. He is what I'm going to use for scaling up my reference images. I also technically, inside the images, if we go under here, I'm going to use, instead of going to the viewport, image, plane, and image import, I'm going to use the little shortcut key on the menu bar there to grab them. So in our case, this is the front view. So I'm going to grab the front view of our one there. I'm also going to click on the image plane importer here to grab the side. And then for the top, I will do the same as well. Now that we have our actual references in here, we obviously need to scale them up so that they will work with Manny here. I'm just going to, actually, I'm going to do roughly 250 and see what that looks like. And well, Manny actually looks pretty decent with this, but I might go instead of 250. Originally, I was pretty sure I did it at 200, but let's do 225, right? Now, you'll notice that we can't see everything inside this viewport. So that means we need to change a few settings in our perspective camera. So if I select our perspective camera and go to the attribute editor, oh, come on. There we go. We can add in either add a 0 or in my case, I'm going to make mine like 5,000 instead. That way I'm not adding too much. And I'm also going to change the near clipping to 1. That way it will hopefully prevent me from seeing through my model as much as possible. I can hit Shift A and it'll zoom out. This red cube here is supposed to be a 1 meter cube, but I know for sure it's a little off at 200. But I'm going to go with this size since it works very well with Manny, especially if I were to grab the top and the bottom of this guy, move them up to sit along the bottom of our grid, right? And we can even technically drag Manny up to his post. If you look at it this way, right? You know, Manny was showing here, you know, it would, actually, where is Manny? Here, let's move this guy back some, right? That actually looks pretty good. In my case, I'm going to move this back this way and this back this way. That way I can see Manny in all sides of my picture. In fact, I'm going to leave him out there for the captain's helm. That sounds like a good plan, especially since roughly around here is where he'll be standing, typically, give or take, right? Let's see here. So, with that, I can now see that I accidentally unhid some of my cameras, so that they aren't in my way. I'm going to hit H on them to hide them again. Now, I'm going to grab all my reference stuff and hit Control G to group them and call this the ref group. And I will then also add this to a display layer, right? So in the channel editor box, you can add in a display layer, and I'm going to put this to reference mode and call this reference DL, ref underscore DL for short, for display layer. Although I am probably going to come back here and remove Manny so that I can still move him around. So I'm going to right click and remove selected object. That way Manny, and in fact I'm going to also shift PM out of the group. That way I should be able to still select Manny. Yeah, I can still select Manny, but I can't select the other stuff because they are part of the display reference layer. Now, to start us off, we're going to be modeling in all three-point views as well as the perspective to see what we're doing. So I'm going to go Shift A, go up to display, and I'm also going to make sure that the grid, if your grid isn't the same size as mine, I've got it at 3,000 units, a grid line every 50 units with 0 subdivision. That way I only have a line every 50 units, making it a little easier, hopefully, to see things. You could do 100 if you wanted to do meters. In which case you would just right click over here and go like this and just type in 100 and hit apply. You'll see my grid get a little bigger, right? And then I could technically do a grid line every 2, right? And subdivision of 2, that way I'd have also a line every there, and then I could change the subdivisions to like green so I know which ones are which, or I can make it like black. There, that's a little better, right? I like dividing up the colors as well, right? So red, making sure that I'm also along the grid. Now, to start us off for our actual shape, I'm going to start off with a cube. Now, to start us off, I am going to scale this guy up and hit 4 in my respective orthographic views. That way I know for sure I can actually see things. I'm also going to turn on this up here, which is the X-ray view inside the perspective view. That way I can see how things are playing out. So, start us off, I'm going to grab roughly almost the full shape of our boat, right? And then I'm also going to drag this up, scale it down some, just because I know for sure that I need to go like that. Now, what I want to do at this point is hit the Control-Shift-X or turn on the multi-cut tool so that I can control and add points where I feel like we need some. In our case, I know for sure I'm going to want one here. I'm also going to want one around here. I know for sure, in fact, I can already see a bit of a problem. Let's see, so this one looks all right, but I know for sure that we are not lining up with both of these. So, let's see here. So what I'm going to do is go back to object mode really quick, find my side view, and I'm going to shuffle it back so that way it will match both these a little better. I feel like I need to move a little forward, but not much. That way they're a little better. So let's see here. Let's see. If I move them a little closer, does that help me any? So, it's at least up here. If we were to go vertexes, I'm just going to quickly move these guys back. Yeah, they're pretty close enough, but you could spend a while trying to match them up. In my case, I'm just going to go like this, and I'm also going to move this up here, because I know how I'm going to do that part. Now, I'm going to add a couple extra edges as well, one here, here, and here. And I will start with the side silhouette by moving these vertices. Now, if you can see inside my perspective view, I'm grabbing both the front and back vertices when I grab them. So therefore, I can also do something like this as well. And I can also see I should be adding a line roughly around here. And we'll move this one down. And I can even technically move it forward enough. Well, it's there if I wanted to. And I'm going to scale these guys down on the single axis so that they're nice and flat. In fact, I'm going to do half the height there as well, because I know that there's going to be a bit of a inside area for our boat, right? And I'm going to move this guy forward, right? So this is going to be like the base floor, right? And then I'm going to extrude up the actual walls afterwards. Now, we also need to add in a few extra edges here and there to make it so that our boat can conform to our proper shape of the boat. So I'm probably going to put one more like that. And then we're going to grab these guys and scale them in accordingly. Right. What I'm doing now is trying to match my shape as best as possible while still kind of trying to keep this. Now I'm going to add actually I'm going to undo that last one. I'm going to put another, let's see here. I'm going to put another one in the center as well, right? And then I'm going to just bow it out a little. Not much. So that's going to represent that area. And then we can also start dragging in here, except for I'm going to add another one in the middle, just so that I can start slowly bringing in my boat to curve inwards, right? And then adding points where I need to within reason, right? Now it's going to be going to add another one in the middle, right? And then we just go like this. I'm going to grab both of these at the same time, just so I have something like this, and I'm going to move these guys forward. Scale them in just ever so slightly. Now, typically if the boat, it's almost pretty even, but you may want to work off of one side for symmetry. In my case, I'm also going to go to object mode, Control Shift X again, add one down the center so that I also have a line of symmetry to work with. That is also a nice thing to have. Yeah. I can at any point go to object mode, Control 1, and see that I need to grab these faces on the bottom here to get my bottom shape kind of figured out. I'm going to hit Control 1, go back to the 4 panes, and I'm going to hit Control E, then W, just to manually make the move myself. I'm going to try to make the lines appear to be around here, give or take, right? And then I'm also going to give it a little bit of a push in, but not much, because then I can see what happens when I extrude it inwards. And then I'm just going to manually scale it in a little bit and see that I should probably also go to vertexes. I'm going to grab the last half of my boat, pull them back some. I'm going to go to edges, and I'm going to move this guy slightly forward a little, right? Now, to keep things a little there, I'm going to also bow out this guy a little bit so I can this. So I'm going to a little bit more. In fact, I feel like I'm going to Grab these ones and up a little, just because I can. Give my shape boat a little more profile. Now, I am going to, however, come back here and grab the vertexes of these guys. I'm going to grab these ones and just ever so slightly pull them back and give them a little more like that. That way our boat's starting to feel a little more in the shape that I want it to. And then, so, all right, what I am going to do is go to faces. I'm going to select just my top faces. And I'm going to hit Control E, and I'm going to give it an offset of 1, or not 1, 10. If I type in 10, and I'm also going to turn off the X-ray mode so you can kind of see it a little better, but roughly that's 10 centimeters. In fact, I might even do like 15 just to do that. And then I might make sure that this is nice and flat. Perfect. Now, actually, before I do that, I am going to grab the back half of the boat. So we'll get that out of the way first before I add in the other side. So I'm going to grab these ones. I'm going to shift pull this up roughly to where he would be standing, right? And I can I'm going to actually undo that. I'm going to actually put one more here. Apparently I didn't get. I'm gonna undo. Oh, I know what happened. It's because I extruded. All right, right. There we go. Control Shift X. I hit that. There we go. Vertex. Actually, let's just show you quickly. There is Shift right click edge slide, allowing you to use the mouse wheel to kind of shift things a little forward or backwards as you see fit. There we go. There. So I'm going to grab these faces. You'll see what I'm doing in here in a minute. Oops. Make sure you don't have any extra faces. And then I'm just going to shift pull this up to right where his feet are. That way I've got a nice flat ship there. However, I am also going to pull this up here, vertex, and I can grab this one and shuffle it like this. Right. I'm also going to do the same with these now. I can kind of get it to the shape I want, because I now need to also come back here and go to face, grab this face at the back here, scale it in some. And now we're seeing that our boat isn't quite matching up again on one of them, which is probably because when I made the images, they were a little off, but ultimately I am going to want to make sure that back to clean this up. I might even just control backspace, add a fresh one, and then just go like this. To round it out a little more on there, right? I feel like if I wanted to use some symmetry, I could turn on the world object X, making sure I grab one point and I can move it out as I see to try to round out my boat a little better, since it looks like I've gotten a little off on basis there, right? All right, now I'm going to select these. Now, making sure I turn off these ones. I'm going to turn off the world symmetry for this one, just because the inset wouldn't go properly. So I'm going to hit Control E, and then I'm going to type 15 because I want a bit bigger, right? Now I can then come back here, hit Control E, and I'm going to give this a Z thickness of 15. Let's just say, no, let's do 30. Which is fine. I can deal with this in a minute. We're going to go to vertexes and start with this one, right? Well, we obviously want this guy coming up a little more like this. I'm going to also raise this one. Fact, I'm going to get a little bit creative on this side here. I can also V, if I needed to, I can snap it in one direction to make it a little better. But ideally, that would probably be a little better for my ship anyway. Also see that I probably want to raise this a little more higher than the image itself, just because. I'm also going to do the same for the front, though, on a bit of an angle, just like this. Right? Because if I were to drag Manny over there, it might be all right. So that brings me to here. I'm going to drag up just a little. In fact, I'm going to make this one a little more straight. In fact, you could also grab all the vertices on the top if you needed to, just scratch them down. Now, this is where I'm going to only select a few of these faces. In fact, I will turn back on Symmetry X just to show that off. And then I'm going to grab this face, this face, this face, and this face. Shift extrude. Oop, no, I went one too far. Gonna undo. Make sure I only grab these ones. Shift extrude this up here. But I am going to go to vertexes and grab these ones. Move it here. Pull these guys up here. There. Just like that. Also going to grab this and rotate them as a whole to give it a little bit of difference. There. Something along those lines. Now, let's see here. Now that I've got the main part of the boat, we need to make the inside. Now, to do the inside, what I'm going to do is, let's see, the fastest way would be to find first over here. Let's see, faces. I feel like I would want to see here. We don't want it to continue all the way, but we do want it to start up here. So I'm going to cut this one in half just because that seems like the proper thing to do. Also going to go to edges, shift right click and do an edge float just to put it in a medium area. And then also come over here because I can see it's a little squarish. Pull it in some. Now, that's perfectly fine. All right, so to do the inside, I'm just going to turn off the symmetry and then to shift extrude in just like this, roughly. I'm going to then try to flatten that out some. Flatten these edges. Flatten this one. Flatten this one as well. That way I can now come back here, grab these faces, and do shift right click, do edge flow for that one. At this point, I'm going to turn on a transform edge slide and go to W to just slide this down like this, just so that we can get, and then I'm going to turn it off so that I can move this here, just like that, giving us hopefully enough room for our stairs. Now, I'm going to shift extrude down just this much, right? And then I'm going to shift extrude down one more time. This one is going to be the full length of going all the way down. Now, you can do this one of two ways. You can go to faces, delete half your boat. I find it easier. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. Delete, and then select this last remaining half. There we go. That way I can grab these faces. And then I'm just going to hit Control E, do a offset, so much, delete this, and to clean up the bottom here, I'm just going to grab these edges and hold Control backspace to delete them. Now, I can hop back here and grab this edge, or vertex. I'm going to move it in some, because I don't want it crashing through. In fact, I'll hit F to make sure that it's not crashing through. I will go to this edge. I'm going to pull it back, play around here on 2 axes. Right? I can also grab this guy. See in the top view where I'm kind of also getting some areas as well. I'm going to have this area conform a little more to there. So that means I also need to shift drag back. I'm going to straighten it so that way I can try to match the rest of the stuff as well. So right around here, give or take. Which means I have to delete these inside faces so that I can mirror it back. And then I can then shuffle this guy, while also making sure I don't. There. I'm also going to go up here, grab Manny, drag him down to make sure that he can stand. In fact, he's got quite a bit of headroom. Let's just see here. Is that 2 Mannies? That is 2 Mannies. Let's see here. I'm going to drag this up to his knees. There we go. That way, the middle section is not very high. I'm also going to duplicate him just so that I can see what's going on up here. Let's see. I could grab the top faces here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring them down some, just to in case I want to have a couple steps go down, and if I wanted to cut a hole to make like a captain's cabin, I could do so, right? In fact, this leaves me at least the option to do so if I wanted to. I'm going to go back to objects and I'm pull this guy back up top here. Right. So before I go any too far, I'm going to call this PIRCE underscore airship underscore 02 since this is my second take. Let's see how we're doing. So with this, I'm going to start on a quick little side project that I can easily say I want to be here. We want 30 by a height of, let's just say, I'm going to do 10 just because, no, I'm going to do, yeah, height of 10 and a depth of 200. Let's see. Oh wait, no, one, sorry, a width of 30, no, height of 10, width of 30, and then a depth, let's just say 120, and then a depth of, let's say 30. That would be a stair, right? We can then come back up here, drag this around here. I can hold V to snap it close to here, just because I know that will be where the stairs is. 120, pretty good width, but I am going to probably do 150, and then pull this down a little. See here. So I then hit the Shift D, and then shuffle it down. In fact, this is also where I might turn off my references so I can kind of see a little better of how far I'm going down. And then I can Shift D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 steps, which is, let's do 12. Yeah, but yeah, that's fine. That'll do. I'm going to grab these guys. I'm going to group them together. I'm going to also hit the center pivot point, and then I'll shuffle it up so that it's sitting just on top. Just like that, and I will crash it back a little more. Like that. Then to add to my stairs, I am just going to add a simple primitive. I will scale it up. Oh, no, delete that one. And we'll go to cube. I'm going to hold V, and I'm just going to, not B, V, sorry. Snap it here, hit F to focus. Object mode, vertexes. I'm just going to shuffle it over. Hit F, zoom out. Let's just scale these guys up temporarily. I'm going to snap them here. Pull this over here like this. And we can make this big by, we'll go a little bit bigger than the other one. And then what I'm going to do from here is Shift Extrude to start us off. And then if I pull it up like this, let's see, yep, that'll do. Here, and then Shift Extrude up to make my side. And then I'll just duplicate this over here. To finish off, I am going to put those in the group. And once they're inside the group for my stairs, I'll name it stairs GRP, and that way it's nice and named. I'm also going to mirror, so shift click, no, double clicking will bring up my options, right? hit W, you can see we want the x-axis, right? And I'm going to use the world since we're on the grid, making sure I'm on custom and changing the merge threshold so that it'll be nice and even. And the last bit, I'm also going to grab a cube to make like if I hit the turn back on my references, right, you'll see we have a bit of a wing or a like a metal type wing of some kind back here. So what I'm going to do is Shift A to zoom out again. Get as close here. Scale it up. Make it flatter. This vertexes like this. Scale this out. Add one in center, here, here, and here. And well, I went a little over, but that's fine. It's going to do something like this. Just to have it, you know. I'm also going to shift move these guys up a little to give them a little extra height or curve. Like this one needs to go up a little more. Just like that. Also going to see what it looks like when I do a quick mesh display soft harden. Object mode. Hit spacebar. I'm also going to turn on like the ambient screen space ambient occlusion, motion blur, and shadow, or not shadows, but the anti-aliasing to see what it kind of looks like. And I'm quite happy with the results. Yeah. Let's see here. Now that I also have the stairs, I can duplicate them if I need be. Right, I can rotate them. See that they're a little too high if I wanted to use them for the outside, but I can fix that after. Do that. Let's just quickly do that really fast. In fact, I'm going to make sure this is 180 or negative 180. That way they're nice and clean. And then I can go to my side view really quick and note that I need to grab these guys, go to vertexes, grab this, and hop back up here to, not that one, this one right here. There. And if I hit these, I hit Control 1. I can select just these now if I go to object mode and delete. Control 1 again. And there. I'm going to turn off the motion blur. I don't want the motion blur, but I can now. I'm going to duplicate it over once I actually get the actual things, but I at least now have some stairs, and I can also tweak these variables. Make sure I'm only grabbing these ones to put here. I probably want it to go in a little. Just a little. Just a little. Just fine. There. So we're going to do a few other accessories and the sail today to add on to our boat. So let us start off with a cube, and just as a reference, I'm also only going to do the left side. I will be duplicating all the other stuff over after we get like the balloon and everything. But till then, I'm going to, no, I want it around here, but I'm going to take this image. I'm going to just a little bit, just to give me a better look anyway. But anyway, so first part, I'm going to call this the ship underscore geo. Right, that way we have it nice and named. Human ref can be there. This is going to be left, back. Oh, I'm just going to do capital L for left and back would be tail. Geo, just because that is the back little fin or whatever you want to call it. And then I'd be mid stair underscore stair group, and there. So I can grab the ship, this, and these stairs. I'm going to group them together. Main ship, ship geo, or group, oopsie. Try that again. Group. There we go. All right, back to our cube. Gonna get this around here. I'm going to check over here, see how it looks. It's hard to really see with the reference image, but ideally it'd probably be right around here. Right. Oh, I'm going to scale this up. I'm going to actually just make this a 40 by 40 cube to start me off. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to go 50. There. Let's make it 60. That's better. You misconsistencies. You know what? I'm going to go 80. Right? And then I also know that I need to go to object mode. I can grab my main ship group and I'm going to add it to a display layer just so that I can set it also to reference mode so I don't accidentally click on it. There we go. So I'm going to grab this face. I'm going to shrink it down some. Go to object mode, control 1, really click F, and we will scale this guy out as well. I'm going to make it feel like it's a little more attached to my boat. See here, I'm just going to have it crash through a little, just like that, and I'm going to delete that inside face. Next, I'm going to Control E, grab my offset to make it look like it's there, roughly, oh yeah, we'll say 10. All right. Then I'm going to Shift Extrude. There we go. That definitely looks a little better. You technically would probably want a support beam of some kind on there, but we're going to hit Control E and do a negative offset of 10, not 1, negative 10. That way it pops that one out there. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to hit Control E, and if I did, I don't know, let's just try 30 really quick. No. Let's just see if 60 works. A little better. Alright, then 10 in. In fact, I'm also going to do 10 in just to see how it looks. So great. And I can shift extrude all the way over here. Yeah, Oh, what? No, it's fine. You could go by the grid if you really wanted to, but ultimately I'm just going to do -10, and then E, I'll give it a offset of 60, Control E, for some reason. Make sure I didn't double extrude there, and we'll do 10. Also do 10 over here for the offset, just so that way it's even. And then we'll come out -10, that way it comes out that much, and then I'll hit Control E once more. We'll do 30. I'm going to repeat that as 60. Control E, 10. And do the same for this side as well. That way I have everything already ahead of myself. And we'll get the last one. It's over here. Oops. Nope, we're fine. E, and then I go -10 for the offset again. E to extrude again at 60. And then I could go E to 10. There we go. Grab these guys, hit W. I can hold the shift key and extrude out like this, and that'll give me exactly what I'm looking for the areas to hold our sails. Now, I'm going to go object mode. We're going to take a look at how this kind of looks. That's all right. I'm going to make a plane. I'm going to drag this, let's see here, using the top view, these two viewports here. I'll drag it up in between here, and I'm roughly going to say under here, I want like 600 by, or 550, I think, 550, 50 by 350, and I got the backwards. I want to make sure that I change the width divisions to 20. No, the width to back to 10, sorry, and this one to 20. Let's see, do 25 by 12. No, roughly around there. I'm going to do 25 by 20. And I'm going to now just manually scale this guy up. Now, if I wanted to, I could. You know what? Yeah. Let's say it's sim. If it's one, no. Let's see, 1, 2. You know what? Before we do that, let me just grab this guy here. Vertex. You can tell if I snap this on the grid, at least then I can know. This is where I'm going to deviate from the actual plan a little. That way it's on the grid. Oops. Holding X, I can snap these onto the grid close to where they're supposed to be. Right, and then I can also see where we're at now. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I now go like this, I can at least, hopefully, only need to this once, and I can see what it looks like when I duplicate it over. Yeah, so we want 3 of these, but I'm going to use one of them, right? So we'll zoom in here. I'm going to scale. In fact, let's turn off our reference layer just because I don't need that while I'm scaling this, right? So benefits of using display layers, I can now grab these guys and crash them through like this. That way it makes it look nice. Then I can go to edges, tap B to turn on the soft selection. Now you can hold down the B and middle mouse button and drag left and right to change the scale, which is over here, right? Now, depending on what you have selected, as an example, let's just quickly grab a sphere. It's nice and big, right? And right, so if I were to drag this out a little, right, and you can see soft selection does that. Now there's different modes. There's surface mode and volume mode. So volume, a little different if I have this, but if I were to do something like this and I were to, I don't know, combine them, right? And if I went to edges, I can grab this edge here, right? See how on surface it doesn't select the other object, right? But if I go to volume, right, notice now it is selecting the other one, right? So depending on what you're doing will depend on which mode you want for your soft select and different things, right? Obviously, if I had a little more of the fall off there, it would be that. You can also do global or object as well. You can also control the curve and how well it falls off, right? So you can add points by clicking. I'm going to undo. You can also hit the reset curve if you need to. You can click to make it have a sharper fall off or a lesser fall off by clicking and dragging points. You can click and add points to also drag them at your own designation, right? You can even modify certain ones, right? So forth, depending on what you're trying to do. I'm going to reset my curve though, because I don't want to do that. In fact, I'm going to take these two and just delete that. All right. So for our thing here, to make it look like a little more like a piece of cloth, I'm going to go to face mode, decrease my selection. I'm going to leave it on volume just because I can. I'm just going to pick a couple random spots, push those down. Grab another quick random spots, pull them up a little to make it look a little more like a piece of cloth. Object. Right, I would spend a little more time. You can even technically go to edge mode, and I could select like that. I don't want the whole thing. I just want right to here. Let's just deselect the top half. Pull this one up. Right, something along those lines. Right, and this edge here. Right, push this one down. Go here. Shift double click. Pull that up a little. Do the same from here. So select my first one, shift double click the second one. Right, just like that. Right, then I can duplicate this. Oops. In fact, I'm going to come back here, and we'll just call this cloth. Cloth geo underscore 01. That way I also have it named, except for I do want that extra there. And then I can duplicate this, move that there, clone it one more time, and I'm just going to do -1. And while we're at it, let's just grab everything, delete history, and freeze transform. That way, it will be there. Do that again quickly, right? Just so that they're nice and simple, right? Obviously, I could make a little more, do a little more work on it if I wanted to. I feel like I went a little heavy, so I might just scale them back down a little, because usually it's a lot more subtle, right? Perfect. Now, in order to see your materials, so what I'm going to do first is, by default, these guys already have decent UVs because they're a nice plane, and they're already in the UV to 1 space, which is perfectly fine, especially for a tileable material, right? So what I'm going to do is go to my Hypershade really quick. I am going to look for AI standard, let's see, AI standard surface, because I like to work with AI materials, and I'm going to call this M underscore cloth. And we will use a preset of, let's just go with velvet. Replace, except for I'm going to make mine more of a blue. Which I'm also going to lighten up a little. In fact, let's just make it even lighter. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to sign existing cloth, and then hit 6. Now, bottom side here is a little dark. You can come over here and turn on the two-sided lights. That way you can see what it looks like if you were to have a two-sided material. Default inside of game engines, you would have backface culling on and you have to use a two-sided material, but we can easily, with our default settings, set it so that we can easily see that. I'm going to save again. See here, while we're at it, right? So I'm going to grab a cylinder. Quickly, while I'm at it, I'm going to come up here, roughly like this. I'm going to hold J, nice and flat. Go 1, faces, hit B to turn off my soft selection because, well, I'm at it. May as well just delete these guys. Faces, delete that as well. And I'm also going to delete this. No. E, and we'll go like this. Faces, I'll come back here, delete this. And while we're at it, I can grab these two. These two, I'm going to hit bridge just like that. And while we're at it, I'm going to add a division of 2. Let's make it 3. Yeah, just like that. Here to edges. Scale these down really quick. And then I can go to faces. Just like this. Bridge these ones, except for, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Do the same for over here. Bridge, last but least, these edges. Oops. Again, mesh. Let's just quickly fill the hole, and I have to fix a few things with multi-cut. So I like to usually click on my edge, drag, and left click and drag to the vertex, then click on my next edge, left click and drag, right? So click on my edge and left click, so left clicking and dragging, snapping to the vertex, left click and drag to the next vertex, left click and then right click to end. Again, left click and drag, left click and drag. Did that backwards, so I'll have to right click. Oops. Left click and drag. There we go. Left click and drag to get them to snap to the vertices. In fact, I'll just go all the way around on that one. And if I hit 3, you'll see they'll nicely fuse together like that. See here. Actually, for whatever reason, Also do this. Oh, I'm going to actually use the instead. Select these guys, Control E, get a little bit of an offset in, and then I'm just going to go out. And go. For whatever reason, okay. These ones, and that, these spaces, quickly scale them in just to, oh, nice window. Go there. Once, twice, 3 times for fun. I'm going to delete them anyway afterwards, eventually anyway, when I go to actually UV them. In fact, I'll probably also rotate them a lot better when I do that. But for right now, this is perfect the way I need it. Yeah. Anyway. And again, I'm only going to do one side just for that. So, just so that we can actually kind of see what's going on. In fact, I'm going to delete and let's just go to start to do a couple little bit of UVing for like these other pieces. So again, I'll start with our piece that we just did here. So starting us off, let's delete the old ones. You don't have to delete them, but just to make a point that we're making new, we're going to delete it. I'm going to do camera base. And what I'm basically going to do actually, let's just go faces. I'm going to select these faces along with these ones. I'm just going to do a quick normal base or grab these ones. I will fix the other ones afterwards, but you can grab a quick normal base there. Grab these faces on the bottom. I missed a couple faces. Quickly do a new normal base, right? I'm not moving them, but this will be fine. Do these guys here. Normal base. Yeah, that's fine. I can fix that after. So some more normal basing. We'll do these faces as well because we can. Actually, I'm going to grab these faces as well since they are facing the same way. Technically, I could also grab the smaller ones, but I like to do them as separate faces. So let's see here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, let's just zoom out. We'll quickly do 1, 2, 3, and 4. Do a normal base. Do the opposite side. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oops, didn't want to do planar there. This side as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll even grab this side because it can. Should just do that. This. Alright, so I'm just quickly grabbing each one. And then I'll grab this as well. I'm going to go to vertex UV shells, grab these guys, scale them down so they're not taking up my full screen yet. I'm fixing everything else in a bit. Oh, I see. Something happened there. Quickly just re-normal base those guys. That way they're there. Alright, so I can also quickly grab these guys. Let's see here. I'm going to hit F. Just quickly do them in a row really fast. Again, really fine. Okay. This one, hit F to focus, double click, normal base, complete. 1, 2, normal base. Again, normal base is based off the way the faces are facing. 1, 2, 4. Here. Now, it's that one. This one. Leaves this guy right here. What I like to do now is select all my UVs. I'm going to go to the transform section, open up the texel density, and I'm going to, let's do 512. 5.12 pixels per unit. Since we are making a large unit, and we're going to do this for a 2048 and hit set. That is more so what I would expect. What's this? Oh, don't know what happened there, but I am just going to click normal base and hit set. That way it's a little better. You can even probably come over here and just hit the unfold and just make sure everything unfolds. You can also quickly do a quick control U if you wanted to, or control L, or yeah, layout, right? And then I'm just going to hit the word set. Go. Which is perfectly fine for what we're doing, right? Now, to see what we kind of have going on, I'm going to go to UV shells. I'm going to find, in fact, actually, I'm going to start off by selecting all these guys and assigning a new Lambert. Actually, no, I'm assigning a new material, which I have to find the pop-up. Arnold, where are you? Arnold, standard surface. Let's go into the hyper shader. Since it's not popping up, it'll be faster here. I'm going to go edit and delete unused nodes just to clear that out. Surface material, no. I want standard, no. We're going to say Arnold, and we're going to for Arnold standard service. In fact, I might even right click and add to favorites. That way I can see it up there. There we go. Drag this one down along with this. Make it larger so you guys can see. There we go. All right, I'm going to call this m_wood, and we will just set our texture to that wood texture that I had. So I will call this wood txt, or txt for texture, and then click on this file folder, go to the wood texture, hit open, and then I am also going to click over here, and because it is wood, I am also going to crank the roughness up here. And then now close, because I'm also going to go to object mode. I'm going to just right click and assign existing and wood, and then now I'm going to go to file up here for the materials. Where'd it go? This guy again. That's all right. We can worry about cleaning it up after. If I hit 6 now, here, object. Now let's go back to general just so I can see something. I'm going to delete the history. Wood text and wood. Oh, I see. As object, I'm going to we're going to hop back to UV editor. I'm going to turn on the wood texture. Just need to C6. Is this also okay? No, we are upside down. Yeah. You know what? We're going to go back here. Shade. Just going to say wood. Get the network. Just going to change this to standard surface by itself. Surface. See if that worked. Sign material. Oops, they renamed it. But I'm just going to call this _wood. Not showing up. Just bear with me for a minute here. Sorry about that. So inside my hypershader, I have to right click right on the wood, get graph network, and I had to reconnect the color output to the base color, which was the alpha originally, and then that for some reason allows me to actually now see it, which is exactly what I wanted. So anyway, we're going to grab all these ones, right? Since these ones are the ones that are not going with the flow of our actual shift click. These shells, yes, and then I drag selection, and if I hold shift, control, we're going to go to object. We're going to delete history really quick. UV shells. making any sense, but let's see. I'm just going to do it manually then. I'm just going to grab one at a time, UV tiling, and I'm going to rotate. Now, these ones, rotate them. Again, because of the way we have it, it doesn't really matter so much on where we place them, as long as they match up to some form of wood. All right, now let's see here. I'm going to rotate this one. Let's see here. Move all the wood over here. Then, oh, missed one. Then I can select all these faces. So now that one worked, but let's see here. I'm going to make sure I deselect these faces. Control click, there. So that's 4 faces there. I'm going to shift right click, hit Q. I'm going to shift right, or just right click and assign a new material. I still don't see where that pop-up is, right? Oh, I see. New material. There we go. So that's what I need to do. They've added a few other things. So I'm going to do standard surface. We're going to set this color to the file, and I'm just going to select our metal, just like that. And there we go. So and that's how I would go about doing that one. I would then go to Object. Oh, right. I need to go here, General, go to Panel Layers, turn this off reference mode so I can select my boat. Delete that, and I'm just going to quickly UV this while it's simple. And then that will also help us as well. So go back to our UV editor. Tools, quickly do a camera base just to create new ones. Go to edges. Technically, I'm just going to go faces anyway. Paint these guys really quick. Do camera normal base. Move him off to the side. I'm going to shift select this side. Do normal that one. Select the first one, double click the second one, do normal base that way. Put that up here. Base, oop. Undo, make sure you deselect before you create another new set of faces here, right? So I'm just going to do that. Normal, grab these two, go normal base. In fact, I'm just going to do the back of the boat right now. 1, 2, 3, normal base. It's up here. Quickly, normal base. Right above that. Grab these, oops, making sure I don't accidentally move things. Do another normal base really quick. That's the whole back of the boat. Now, let's see here. 1, 2, if I were to double click that, deselect these guys, do a normal base. I'm just going to go to edges really quick. Select these. And that. UV shells. This one, I'll move there. I'll do a quick normal base for this guy. For this guy. Move them down here. Don't worry about straightening them later. Or no, I won't straighten them, but I will then go faces, grab these faces here, do a normal base for that. Shrink it closer. And then I'm just going to grab these ones here as well. Again, another normal base really quick. Right, I'm just picking and choosing on hard edges really fast. And then I go to edge mode, UV mode, and cut and sew. I'm just going to double click there so that I'll cut that. I'm also going to cut here, 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 here. I will come all the way out here. I'll click these lines so that way they'll be all different pieces. Also going to click this one, that one, this hard edge, there. That way those are all nice and done. And then we also need to cut open this hole in its hard edges. That way it will unfold nicely when we get there. Now I need to enter my boat. 1, 2, 3. Didn't want to cut that one, but I can fix that after. This will make it easier for selection anyway. Once I've got that all fixed up, UV shells, drag select, unfold. And then we've got that boat piece there. We've got a straight piece here. Got a few weird wonky pieces that I'll have to fix, but I can do normal map or normal base really quick. Where are you? Oh, I'm going to grab these faces, do a normal base to fix that. I can quickly also normal base, which will hopefully also fix it so they're facing the same way I want. I'll do a normal base, shrink that down some. Oh, wait, I see what happened here. I'm just going to do a quick normal base there. That. Shuffle that off to the side. That one. Of course, this one didn't get. Oh, I see what happened. Didn't like this edge. Because of when I made the thing there. So what I'm just going to do is, shift right click and hit cut. Going to click or shift right click and hit sew. After I refix that. Go. UV shells. And I can grab this one, do normal base. There we go. So this guy here needs to also be cut here. Don't know what happened here, but I am just going to quickly normal base that. Oops, I missed one face. I do the front as well, just to there. That way it'll make it easier for me to just quickly grab this guy by double clicking it, hitting normal base. It's fine. UV shell, this normal base. I'm also going to rotate that 90 since I know my wood runs up and down. And then wouldn't hurt to fix those guys as well. Really quickly. Definitely. Oh, yep. Definitely going to want that guy over here. Quick normal base there. I will normal base him. Because otherwise he's going to look funny. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. Take all our pieces. Oh, you. Oh. Don't know what happened there, but I'm going to have to redo that. Put that up here. I'm going to set the texel density and then Control L. And that'll do for right now. Alright, and then I just assign that wood material. And then I just have to find the right pieces and rotate them in the right way. And so forth. But I'm going to do that off screen. I've already at least modified them, and then we'll be looking at it a bit later to do the propeller and that. Yeah, so I'm going to add a few extra edges and that. So now that I've straightened out my wood actual material, but this is so that I can add in basically the ability to see the wood, right? So in fact, actually, let's make a line down the middle of this one and this one, right? Just so that way it works out nicely. I'm going to go to vertex mode. I'm going to shuffle this guy around till it looks like it follows the thing a little better, which means I'll have to unfold my current UVs a little better, but that's fine. Now, so see here. I feel like the front of the bus here should also all be metal anyway, so I'm going to just chop that up like that. I will, let's see here, add a small, let's see here. You know what? I'm not going to bevel, but let's see here. If I did that, it wouldn't be the correct way of kind of doing it. I don't want to. Typically, I should have. Alright, well, if I were to temporarily delete these, right? Well, we'll fix it in a minute. What I'm going to do to start us off is put one down the middle, put one down the middle. Did say, oh, it went all the way around, right? With my multi-cut tool, quickly just do this, right? And then I'm going to then fix this engon, fix this engon, fix this engon, just like that, just so that I have a better way of kind of dividing these things out. Which is perfectly fine. What I'm trying to do now, let's see here, I can, in fact, I'm going to make that all metal. I'm going to one here, and then one here, one here. Reason why is because I also need to have one here now. Obviously, I don't like making it super dense here now because this is low poly. And I also know that I want this to kind of work in a different way. I can target weld this up. And I can do it on the other side as well if I wanted to, and then go edges, remove this, there, just like that. Just so that way it'll work this way. Now, I can also see that it's not quite. I'm just going to hold shift and keep selecting all the way till I get to about here. That way I have both of these. Shift right click and do that slide edge tool. Oops, using my middle mouse, I'm going to pull them down closer, which means I'll have to relax the UVs a little better. Vertex, I'm going to grab these vertexes and shuffle them down as well, just so that way they will work a little better as a area for my metal. Now, let's see here. I'm going to say I want a metal beam here. No, I'm going to make it bigger. We're going to do this one and this, just because I can. No, let's do it right here. If I were to do, let's see. Yeah, let's do it there. No, I'm going to say, I'm going to split this one, split that one, and split this. That's a little more even, and I can come back here to get rid of this one. But the main problem I'm running into here is that I also need these here to, let's see here, grab the wing, and I'm going to shuffle it back some, just because I can. There's a reason why I'm doing that, but that way that can all be metal on the side. Let's see here. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. If I were to add like a quick back this way and a cut here, that would do. And then I just need this here and a cut here. The reason why I am cutting all this up, though, is so that I can come along and go like this to the faces. Oh, I almost forgot one right here. What I'm going to do is face select these ones. Actually, let's just go back to UV really quick. UV editor. UV shells this, and if I hit the unfold, let's just click the unfold really quick. And I got to straighten this guy out because he should be straight along the wood, especially if he's going to be he's going to be part of the wood metal. That's right. So, and then I can grow my selection. I can then right click assign. Do I not have one? Objects. Go back to the modeling. No, we'll go back to general really quick. Attributes. I see. M_metal. Then I can now hop back here. Pieces don't matter. I'm just going to go object mode, make it big. Faces, grow my selection, and then right click, assign. Do metal. And then I also want a cut here really quick. Shift, double click. There we go. Let's right click, assign, metal. Let's see. Oop. Oh, undo. Right, I only want the, so if I did this, right click, assign. Basically, I'm going to be assigning metal. This one I can do. Not shift, right, and there. Right. Deselect these guys. That way I can. Basically, I'm just signing a different tileable. I will then also deselect back here. And right click and assign metal, just so that way there, I'm going to assign the whole front to be metal as I can. Oops. Didn't quite get that to go the way I wanted it, but technically you would do a lot better cleanup job than I have as well. But let's see here. Let's see. So and so just paint. You know what? I am just going to make the front metal, just to be on the safe side. Oops. Click assign metal. Right. Just trying to add in points where I would want to make it metal. And then you can pick and choose if you want to do this aspect of yours for your own. Let's see here. You can also use this to your advantage as well. If you go to again, back into the UV editing, right, you would say this piece I would know for sure I don't want. This is an inside, so if I grab this one, these guys, I could then go back to face mode like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, deselect over here, which will deselect those guys, which makes it easier. Oops. Also go faces. So select. These guys again. And this. This one I am going to be a little more pickier. Just because I don't want it going past there. Right, just for that. And I can also see I have to straighten this guy. Go. Since it's a large piece, I can also get away with like doing this as well because you're technically making a medium poly object at this point, which is perfectly fine. No, assign material metal. Right now. Something along this line. I'll probably finish this up offline or off, so that way you guys don't have to watch me select all these weird and wonky faces. But after this, though, this is just a bonus little thing anyway. Let's see here. Oh, there. Sign and metal. There. Any point I can also go back. Like sign wood. I also know that I need to sign here to be directly metal, just so that way it'll look like it supports. In fact, while we're at it, we'll want to do it for both sides. So, off really quick. Let's see what I got. Spaces. Thought I. Oh, I see what happened. Well, I'll just go over here. Select things like that. Just assign metal. Quick. And then now got some nice metal as well as some wood. That works for me. And this is the concludes our bonus chapter.